What's up, everybody? Real with Omar. You know me, the host, owner of HGR Capital, funded over $500 million myself. Hudson Group Realty Network. We've done over tens of millions of dollars in real estate, and I just started doing real estate. But today's special guest is the top producer at Westchester County Harrison team, my man Zachary Preuss. Zachary Preuss, welcome to the show, bro.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, Zach, we're gonna talk real estate, obviously, but let's talk about how we met.
Yeah.
We met playing basketball at Lifetime Run. I just want to give a little bit of a background on it. The reason, but I mean, besides we like the vibe, but we both compete when we play. We're talking about this off camera, so I just want to bring it on. Yeah. There's a difference. Some people won't understand that. Like, if you don't compete in any type of thing, sports, whatever, it's like it's something innate in you, and unless you are a true competitor, you can't really understand it, right? And and sports is competition, business is competition. So tell me, first of all, where are you from? Like, what's the story? And then we'll get to what you do.
So I grew up in Cortland Manor, Peekskill border there. Went to school at Walter Panis High School. Mm-hmm. So I'm a little more northern Westchester. Grew up there most of my life. Lived with my parents. They moved to Garrison. I was there for a couple of years, and then I ended up moving in with my now in-laws in Yorktown, 2019, 2020, and then we bought our first property down in White Plains, 2021. So I've been down county for that 5 years.
Okay, so how do you like White Plains?
Love White Plains.
Yeah?
I love White Plains. Love the energy. I love the central location of everything. You're close to highways. You're close to shops, restaurants, bars, the gyms. I mean, you like everything. I feel like everything is 15 minutes away.
Right.
Any town.
Not city vibe.
Even to Connecticut. Like a super city vibe. Good people, a lot of energy. You get a little bit of the city, but it's still quiet. We're in like a pretty quiet residential neighborhood. Okay. It's a good mix. Great mix. I love it there.
So when you went to school, what was your major?
Yeah, so I went to school to play baseball. So like my initial goal was to play baseball. So I was waiting for that baseball, either scholarship or that opportunity. Ended up going to Southern New Hampshire. It's a D2 school. Ended up falling out of love with the game.
Why?
Just
injury or just
injury, just politics, just personal. Just it wasn't. I didn't feel it anymore. You didn't feel it. I was good. I was athletic. Played well. It just things change. Life changes. You change as a person. Yeah,
absolutely.
So that kind of changed a little bit. Came back home. Was at WCC for a semester or two. Ended up going to Fordham. Went to Fordham University. I lived down there for a year or two. I tried to get into the Gabelli business program. So that was like my main goal, to get into there.
Business.
Made a fatal error by sending in my SAT scores, which I later found out I didn't need to. Wow. And I just missed the cut on them. I was a good student, but it's super competitive. So I missed the cut on that, and then kind of was backtracking to like liberal arts or, what degree I wanted to go for. And things kind of changed. I had a friend who was still one of my best friends. His mom is an agent and also a title closer. So she put me in touch with actually this woman named Marlene Jamel in the city when I was living down in the Bronx. Okay. She was with Keller Williams. She did big commercials, high rises, townhouses, like everything major. Okay. So that was like my stepping ground into like an internship in like the real estate world, whether it's like being an agent or being an assistant or however.
So you didn't know what you wanted to do yet.
Didn't know what I wanted to do.
You just being
and things just kind of fell into place. And the more you just network and see what you like, and it's kind of structured of work days and schedules, things just kind of work out.
What did you like it from the get, or did you not like it?
People, yes. I loved it. I love the city, first of all. Okay. Like, I'm a big New York City person. I love the city. I love the energy. I love the fast pace. I love how many people there are. Right. Just the different kinds of people. Mm-hmm. There's always something new.
Right.
So that aspect of jumping into these, $10 million, $20 million commercials, and like we were chatting off camera, cold calling, like that was what I was doing. I had like lists. I mean, but at the time I didn't realize I'm talking to like billionaires. Right. Top billionaires and like multimillionaires that own these properties and these hedge funds or these companies and developments. And I had no idea.
So there's 1% of style.
Yeah. And she has a very elite list. Right. So I'm not super knowledgeable in the business yet. So she kind of just threw me out to the wolves. It was like, see it. Go down to the west side, check out these neighborhoods, check out where the museums are, like get familiar with everything. And it was pretty eye opening, and I loved it. But it was tough. It was tough for me to start there because I didn't stay living in the city. I would live back in Westchester.
So you were commuting?
I was commuting. Right. Afterwards. I was living in the Bronx at the time. But then once I left,
Fordham.
Yep. And then once I left, I was back in Westchester.
Okay.
So it was more difficult.
Yeah.
And I don't know a lot about it. You know more about actually like New York City brokerage and being an agent. You have to live there. And you got to know the neighborhoods. You have to know and
Right, the hyper-local-
go where the
the
sun
hyper-
sets.
the
Like,
hyper-local,
you have to know
yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So it was tough, and it's also jumping into a top scale where I kind of started a little bit lower
Right.
and got from there, and then where I'm at
Well,
now.
because you're young and you figure like there's certain things. I wrote my first deal. I'm talking to a client, and he's like, "It's a pied de tête," and I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yo, it's this little place they own in the city.
Yeah.
When they go shopping, and they fly in from France, they go there shopping, they drop this level, and they come like." I was like, oh, "Okay, so who knows that? I'm from the Bronx. Like, I'm like, so yeah. Going back to you, like, there are steps, like, and everybody says, "Yo, I want to do a $20 million deal." Of course you do.
Everybody.
Who doesn't?
Why not?
Right, but start at one, and then two, because every couple of million, there's a big difference, and that's the part that a lot of people don't understand.
Even crossing to that $1 million threshold.
Yeah.
People don't
Mansion tax.
mansion tax.
Right.
People don't even know that.
Right.
As a young agent, you won't even know. And then if you have a client asking, what is this 1% I'm paying? On this 1.2, I have to pay $12,000. And
Yeah.
if you don't know that,
Right.
you also don't look like you know what you're doing.
Right.
So
look
I mean,
credible.
you can always learn. Exactly, credible. There's a lot to learn, and there's always something to learn. But that was, those are different steps. $500,000 to $1 million house, or even 8 to $1 million, like you said, it's a big difference.
Every couple of million is a big difference. So they're just happening. Because,
And the clients,
yeah,
are much different. As
right. The clients are different. Like I have some clients that are foreigners, right? So their big thing becomes the currency exchange, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh shit, okay, I understand that. And I'm doing math off of that. I'm like, oh, doesn't make sense. Or keep your money in America, or take it back, or but these things are through education, not because somebody told me. Like, I had to put that shit together. It wasn't like they were explaining to me, but at the end of the day, in real estate, it's really about relationships. But also, at the end of the day, we're salespeople, right? So we have to be credible salespeople. And the more credible you are, I feel, the more clients have no problem paying. Right. It's when you're not credible and you're kind of just throwing shit against the wall, and they kind of start seeing that.
You will get caught eventually.
Right. Well,
It'll work. You could get a deal done.
You might get a few done.
You might get a few deals done.
If he does, yeah.
But when it comes down to the questions that you're being asked and doing it again and replicate this and do this again, you'll find yourself back in.
We were talking about two types of agents before. Yeah, camera. We were talking about, and I was talking about competing for listings, and I told you my experience I had with one, and I told you I told the guy the number that I really felt it was, and he was kind of turned off by it, and I kind of sensed it by the just the response. Right,
you can see body language change.
Yeah, just slightly.
When you don't
and you're like, I'm like, yo, I'm sorry, this is what it is, and I was okay to lose it, but like you said, there's two types of agents. There's the agent that will amplify or puff up the price, and then just ride you for 6 to 9 months, keep reducing, and that's the stress factor in itself. Like, you can do that, but then it becomes stressful because now you have to come back to your client all the time.
Yeah, and it's also a big reflection on yourself. So you get, you're not the only agent competing for a listing. Especially now, it's weeded out a little bit, but a saturated agent business, you have 7, 8, maybe 10 people, agents shooting for this listing. Once you get that listing and your name is there, now you're on for 30 days, you're on for 90 days, you're on for 120 days, you do a price reduction. That's a reflection on yourself.
Right.
And also neighborhood sees that, the neighbors that are looking to potentially sell, they see, maybe they overpriced. What if the agent, why is this not selling? Is he responsive? Does he know what he's doing? He's young, does he have the experience? Can he handle that? Right. It's a big reflection. So, you could be the yes man and win the listing. It feels great, but nothing is worse than not selling.
Yeah, I agree.
There's nothing worse than not selling.
When did you feel confident enough? Like, how many years were you like a intern for a while? Were you an assistant? What was it?
Yeah, so I jumped in with a mentor. I had a mentor, for the first 2 years or so, but I was still not full time. I was younger. I'm 31 now. I started full time within 5 years, but I've had my license since 2017, 18 or so. So it's been a while since I actually was licensed, but I wasn't practicing.
So what did you do before that?
Really, that was what I jumped into. I was kind of bouncing around different jobs. I was doing restaurants. I was working for moving companies.
No career stuff. You just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, trying to figure out what you want to do. I kind of always had like an entrepreneurial mindset. Can't sit still. Like to go. I'm very social. Right. So I'm always talking. I'm always chatting. I'm always looking for something else. Right. Eventually, it's great to have different incomes, but eventually, you need to tie down to something where you get structured and kind of build from that.
Right.
So there was no real structure prior to that.
Right.
And you're younger and you don't realize that this is commission based. So you don't sell, you don't get paid.
Right.
You sit there 3-4 months, you don't get paid. You're like, damn, I don't want to do this.
Right.
But like, I never felt that, I'm going to give up way.
That's dope because the pressure to reform is a real thing.
It is.
Right. People feel like, oh, I want to be. So I don't know what the stat is exactly, but I believe it's maybe 8% of realtors make enough to feed a family. And like the top 8% are really what's doing everything, and then you have 92% that'll do a closing once every 4 months.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a stat. If it's true, like 70% of agents last year didn't close on the deal.
Wow.
It could be skewed,
Yeah,
there's a lot of agents that hold their
information
license.
out there,
Right,
right.
but there's a lot of agents that still hold their license, and that, like I said, my friend's mom, she's holds her license. She doesn't necessarily sell, but those could be based in the numbers. There's thousands of agents that don't practice. They're part time. They sell, one or two, whatever it may be, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But I did see that stat, and it's kind of eye opening.
Yeah.
When you put up some decent numbers, and then you realize, like, wow, I'm in, a different bracket. You get hard. I'm hard on myself, 'cause I think you're the same way. You have that competition. You have that competitive mindset. So you start thinking, you don't compare to other people, but you start thinking about yourself, like, how to get better.
Right.
Why am I not getting this number? How are these people doing X, Y, Z? And then you start realizing, don't compare. Just build to where you are. But when you think about that, 70% of agents not closing a deal, pretty eye opening.
No, that's crazy. So this leads me into another conversation with going to oldie networking events. I go to a few. Sometimes people ask me like, "Oh, can you like if somebody texts me directly?" I'm so like that. I'll be like, "Yeah, I got you. I'll be there. I'll be with you." But if it's like emails and Instagram and shit like that, I try not to pull up if it's not business related.
Right.
Most guys that I see all the time, if you see me having lunch with somebody, it's because we're doing business together.
Yeah.
And it's something about the relationship changing when you do business together. How do you deal with that? Because obviously, and I don't say this in a negative way, but it is something that has to be said. There's so many people out there looking for free lunches, free this, free that. And no offense, guys, no offense. But right, I'm just like, yo, man, I get it. Like, if we're gonna try to synergize, that's the one thing. If you just want a free meal, bro, I'll send you lunch to your office. I'm good.
I think it varies. I think it depends who you're meeting, what you're meeting for. I think there also has to be, it doesn't have to be a dollar amount at the end of the conversation. Like, there's people I've met 4 or 5 years ago, and I still haven't even done deals with them, but we're still good friends.
Okay.
And we still have good relationships.
You're investing relationships.
And then, I know him on the other side of the deal, or I know them from something else, or something, I come up, have a question for it. There's no love lost there. It's not a matter of like, oh, we're friends, but you don't use me kind of thing. I think it depends how you use that network and who you meet. Right. Knowing more people is always better than not knowing more people.
Yeah, people know what you do, right?
They know what you do, but it also helps. Like, if I know 50 attorneys, say I don't use them all, but I know them on the other side of the deal, you have a good connection. Oh, I know him. Yeah, I know. I see my attorneys at the gym. I see attorneys on the other side of the deal at the gym, and then you become friendly, and you gain relationships that way. I think it really depends. Going to lunches are great. Going to networking events are great. I met a lot of great people that are friends. So to this day, I did, like, going back to what you said. Actually, I spent like a good year and a half going to like every single networking one. I was like diving deep into when I actually joined Compass in 23. I was going to every event. Like, my wife was going to kill me.
Really? Yeah. Where are you tonight?
Well, every day.
Right.
Every day, as much as I possibly could, I was going.
Okay. But you trying to like,
but I would expose myself, get my name. I was changing to. I was in a pretty small, like, no office brokerage.
Well, talk about your evolution. So what you started in Keller?
I started Keller, right?
Very
briefly. Yep, very briefly.
Then you said Westchester.
I was connected to the one in White Plains. Wasn't there often. I didn't practice much. I didn't really start practicing until 2020.
Okay, and so you were at Keller?
COVID. No. So I went to Coldwell Banker. Actually went to a few boutiques before that.
Okay.
Friend of my father-in-law's, he had two boutiques that he opened up. They were great. But it wasn't essentially, I don't think it was what I needed to actually start, because, you're starting out, you need to learn. You need people in the office. You need people to refer back to. You need guidance. You're a manager. Not necessarily, you don't need an assistant to, take your calls.
You don't have to
calendar.
Yeah.
You got to learn things. You have a question, like, who do you call? When you're at you're at a company with 4 or 5 people, who do you call?
The feedback loop, right?
Yeah, and it was great.
You learned.
It was great. Like, there's no knock on it at all. I loved it. It was great. It taught you to hustle more. But I think I kind of almost taught myself the business in a sense.
Okay.
Which, you're still learning. You do this day. You do that anywhere. Yeah.
Anywhere.
So then I was in Coldwell Banker,
right,
in Yorktown.
Okay.
And then we did Coldwell Banker Choice Properties. So it's like a franchise of Coldwell Banker. So it's technically not brick and mortar, no office. They're based up in Albany, Schenectady, up that way. So that was great. They had a great structure.
How'd you like that?
I liked a lot. I mean, So I think it was the timing that I liked, because it was right before COVID.
Okay.
Like when I was really jumped into full time, like end of 19 into 20, and then March of COVID hits. So no one was using the office, no one is using admins, nobody's using
anybody.
no one's
right?
meeting
Everybody-
anybody. So
based on-
this is already essential, just a hands-free virtual company in a sense with the Cobalt Maker name.
Right.
So I think that actually helped me, because their pay structure was great. Their the resources were solid, but everything was online, so everything was just virtual. E-sign, like I learned all the e-signing and all the documents and everything online first.
Right.
So that was a cool experience. I think the timing worked out great as far as exposure and learning more and networking. It's a little bit difficult. It's great for seasoned agents. I think it's phenomenal for seasoned agents. You have great structure, great team on there. But that's I needed an adjustment where I saw a limit. There was a cap to where I could possibly
Go with that.
without learning more. I wanted to learn more. I wanted to get exposed more. I wanted to, and it needed a change. Sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
They say average person
Right.
changes their job like 5-7 years, something like that.
in here 20 years, man.
It's good.
I can't find
You're
myself.
above average. You're above
I can't find
average. You're
myself.
above average. So then I transitioned over to Compass in 2023, and I've been there since, and I love it.
Did you know Zach and Heather personally, or it was just
So I didn't know them prior. So my wife owns hair salons, so dry bars. One is in Scarsdale.
that's near Dry Bar?
It's Dry Lux Beauty Bar. They're just blow dry bars, so it's not like a cut and color.
Okay.
So funny thing is, like, we have a team of 20 or so people.
Hairstyles. Or
No, my current, the Zach and Heather Harrison team.
Oh, okay.
They all go to the salon. So my wife knew Heather over
Yeah.
I didn't. She was like, I had this client. She's amazing. I love her. She's so sweet. This and that. She's a realtor, and she obviously, I'm in the business. She's like, you have to meet her. She wants to meet you, and he's like, help you out. She's amazing. Heather's phenomenal. So when I met Heather, we kind of just came super close, and just like she
His vibe is on point.
what are you looking for? What are you trying to do? How could I help? Is there something you want? And I was like, she's a big team, and she's a big agent. She's a top agent.
Yeah.
It's going to New York State, even in the country.
Yeah.
Her numbers are ridiculous. So for me, I was like, how you pass up on an opportunity where somebody
Yeah, I could learn from
essentially is believing in you, without even proving her anything yet. We didn't know each other well. I'm from northern Westchester. She's been in Scarsdale her whole life.
Right.
She meets my wife. They get a good connection. Now she's like, I want to help you. And I'm like, well, why would I say no to that?
Right.
And that's kind of what stemmed me into Zach and Heather.
Right.
Yeah.
What do they do different than other realtors? Like, just and I'm not
So-
don't give me company secrets. Can just clarify that.
So to give you the company secret is we are essentially a company within Compass. I'll be honest with you. She owned her own brokerage prior to selling to Compass.
I remember stuff fast.
There you go.
I've been there.
So really, I think the difference is they're completely different than any other team. Not that I've been on many teams, but I know a lot of agents now. I know a lot of teams, friends with hundreds of agents, even in the company, in different companies. We're a company within Compass.
Okay.
Like we can just
You do things your way.
source ourselves. Yeah, I mean, we use Compass brand. We love it. The resources are great. The brand is great.
Mhm.
We love that. But as a team, we have a pretty good structure there.
That's great, man. I mean, Zach was the first guy I ever seen listing Island.
Yeah.
That's when I went to their office. I remember this guy's listing Island. It was like 10 mil. It's like 15 years ago, a while ago. So I was like, okay. I don't know where their first office was. Where is it now? Is it in Scarsdale?
Scarsdale, yeah.
What
Platinum was there, yeah, and in Golden Horseshoe there, Wilma.
Golden Horseshoe. Right. Yeah. I remember meeting them there. Yeah.
Same office.
Same office.
Same office.
Nice. Everything was Apple.
Yeah.
That's what I remember when I met them.
Still is.
Yeah, still is. Right? And they were like, "Oh, I need a charger." And I was like, "Yeah, I can't help you." But so working with them now, you're a retail agent 6 years now.
Yeah, with them. Not with them. So I joined them 2 years ago.
All right, so 2 years ago with them.
Yeah.
So how's your career been moving since you've been with them?
Phenomenal. I mean, numbers have been up.
Always up.
Price point has been up. Network has been up. My knowledge is considerably up.
And is that just from being in the office with them?
Being in the office, being in their circle, being in their group chat, referring back, calling, asking Heather, what do I do here? What do I do there? Whatever there. Asking Zach, he's legal as well. How do I structure this? What is your best advice? I mean, I actually just used them. Not use them, these are my leaders. Yeah. A couple weeks ago for a new listing. And I was like, look, this is the first listing pitch of the year. I'm not losing this.
Right.
Give me advice. What should you do? Yeah. Straight competition. Like, I'm not losing. I lost a few listings last year because of price point that we spoke about.
Okay.
I told them the right price. One of them, I will admit it, it went over what I anticipated. But it They got lucky, maybe. I don't know.
Well,
It's a crazy market.
I'll say that. I'll say
Going back
that.
to that. But yeah, going back to that, even referring back to them, I was like, I had jumped on a 30, 40-minute call with the two of them. And I was like, what do you do? Give me the advice. I'll tell you how I lost these other listings.
Right.
How do I get this listing? Just give me some advice on it.
Right.
And we had a great breakdown. We ended up, just chopping up everything that they said. I wrote down all my notes. I had 3, 4, 5 pages of notes. I didn't even expect that. I was like, I'm going to take everything because I'll use this for the future too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I got the listing.
Great.
So it was great. Yeah. That worked out. First one of the year, signed in January. So just being able to use.
Well, what's it for? You want to tell it right? Where?
Yeah, so it's a property. It's actually up in Hopewell Junction, up in Dutchess County. So it's actually a referral from somebody in my Chappaqua office.
Okay.
So just like that, I had sold a property from in Hopewell as well, around the neighborhood, and 2 properties that way actually at the end of last year.
Okay.
So she had seen that on my social media, and she said, like, look, they were in similar price points, 900, 8 to 900. It's like a higher end up there in those areas in East Fishkill. And she had sent it to me, and she was like, look, I think this could be an opportunity. You sold some, very comparable homes in the last few months there. Give them a shout, see what they could do. They were interviewing 10 agents.
Wow. Okay.
And it worked out well. And, we're going live probably in mid-March. The snow has backed us up a little bit.
Okay. Well, you prepping the property?
Yeah, we're prepping everything. It's a beautiful house.
Okay.
It's built in 2013. Nice 4-bed, 4-bath.
Still new.
Yeah, it's nice. Nice Toll Brothers built in 4 corners up there.
Okay.
Really nice property.
Okay. Let's go to, so you're doing retail and you also started your first fix and flip.
Started my first
So what inspired that, first of all, and explain to people, I mean, I can do it, but I want you to explain what fix and flip is. Like, you're buying a property for less than value.
Yeah, so basically, super distressed home.
Right.
Is it livable? Sure. Would you want to live there?
Probably not.
I wouldn't. That's just me.
But that's
I've seen worse. I've seen worse. No, not even fancy. Just So you see something in a neighborhood that's worth X amount of money, and you see a property that's priced at X below,
right? And
you're like, okay, where are the margins work here? What does this house need to do? And as we spoke, prior to going live, my father-in-law had done several fix and flips.
Is he in the business, or what is he?
So he's not. So
can we talk about him or no?
We can talk about him. Yeah. So he owned Liberty Tax Franchises. So he had about 15, 17 offices down in the Bronx. He was down there. Yeah, tax guy. So they did super well. Top brokers down there in the Bronx at Liberty, and ended up selling those. He did some fix and flips. He's a serial entrepreneur.
Good.
He owned
that's good to be around him.
He owned a juice bar right in front of Yankee Stadium. He grew up there. His mom still lives there.
Okay.
So that's where he's from that neighborhood. But yeah, so definitely good to be around him. He pushes me. He tortures me. He makes me suffer, but he teaches me.
Right.
So I learned a lot from him doing that, and from that assistance there. And so basically, yeah, the fix and flip. That's where I got the ideas of it. And I like that work. I like to see the beginning and the end. And I'm in the business too, so you love to see a finished product. It's also
that's the evolution, I believe, of an agent, right? Not to cut you off, but retail is great. Real estate brokerage is great because you don't really own or sell. You're just kind of making money, transferring wealth. That's where the concept I use, right? But then you take a step further and be like, yo, I could make more. Like, so I recruited my first agent, who's my boy Edmund. He's an appraiser. And he's like, I had to get my license in 2012 because of licensing for banking for commercial loans. That's how I kind of got into the business. And he was like, I'm seeing these people. I'm doing appraisals. I mean, $500, $600, whatever the number was.
Now they're $800.
Right, whatever they are. Right now they're closer to G.
They are like $1,000 for appraisal.
So, and he's like, like some of these deals, I see what they're making, and I'm like, I want to be involved. So I said, yo, bro, I just had to get the brokerage license. I said, get the agent license. He's Asian. You one time want you like me? Come on, you're smart. He was like, all right. So he does it, and then he takes the test, online. It's right, just for everybody who knows. Like, it's like 250 hours, a multiple choice question, 100 questions. Like, bro, it gets no easier. No offense, not to us, but rather the point of entry is not high. What you do with it afterwards is what the test is.
It's not.
That's really what the test is, right?
Going back to what I said, I mean, there's thousands of agents that we spoke about that don't even sell or practice.
Right. It's like saying, look,
it's very easy to maintain.
I'm going to use this analogy. I love to play basketball. I'm not going to NBA. This is not going to happen. This is not going to happen.
But the group chat thinks some of them do.
But the group chat, they think they're going, I'm not delusional. Yeah. So anyway, back to E. So he sends his license in. So he goes, yo, I got my license. I'm like, that, bro. I was like, great. So listen, tell your family. Like, I'm coaching him. Going back to coaching, I'm like, yo, tell your family at dinner. He goes, all right, I'm gonna just. If you meet him, you're gonna laugh you out because he's Asian, but he talks very, very, very streaky sometimes with us.
Yeah.
So he goes, okay. So he goes to dinner. He tells me the story later. So my dinner, he goes, I tell her, hey guys, look, I'm praising is cool, but I'm trying my job at being agent now. So if you know of anybody, let me know. So he says, across the way, his sister and her husband says immediately, he goes, oh, I'm looking, bro. Great. Right?
You literally never
Right.
know.
Right. He goes, great.
Never.
He goes, oh, wait, hold on. He goes back. He said he gets a notepad. He goes, so what are you looking for? He goes, we're looking for about $1 million. He goes, oh, okay. He goes, because I had told him like how you qualify somebody, how much you're putting down, your deal.
You know what?
Yeah. So he has his note.
He's ready.
He goes, so, I was doing it. So I said, so what's your down payment ability, right? And he goes, no, cash.
Straight cash.
He's like, this guy's rich. So
This job is easy.
Yeah. So bro. They found a property in Queens. I want to say from beginning to end, 15 days. He made a nice check, and from there, me and him together have partnered up. We bought like multiple buildings in Massachusetts. We've done stuff over here.
That's awesome.
But it just becomes like, I believed in him. He didn't see himself, right? And now he has like 200 apartments. He's paid. Yeah. And just to go back to what you said about Heather in terms of sometimes you need somebody to believe in you, right? Because you can't see it.
You don't even know. You could be on the right path too, and then you're like, maybe not.
Yeah, you have that self-doubt. You have that self-limiting belief. You're like, yo,
that's
why me?
That's just like human nature, Yeah, like exactly. You feel, what could I be doing more? Like, why am I not doing X, Y, and Z? But you could be right there. Yeah. You get somebody, like you said, just to give you a little smack on the butt.
Somebody that you kind of respect and to keep it real with you or guide you, and then all of a sudden unlocks you to go further, which is dope. 100%. So now you have them on that side, but you also have your father-in-law.
Yeah.
Who's doing stuff. Mentor. He's like, get into this, man.
For sure. It's like, just do it. That's what he tells me. I said, before getting this one, I must have sent him like 30 properties, 40 properties
to look at.
Every single one. Just do it.
Right.
Just do it.
Right.
What are you waiting for? Just do it.
Right.
And I'm trying to get my funds right. I'm trying to get the hard money right. I'm trying to structure everything, getting a loan on and trying to see what it's worth, what I need to put into it. You start thinking into really what the rehab costs. It's not just cosmetic. Like there's a lot of behind, there's pipes, there's mechanicals, there's foundation, there's decks. Like
depending on how deep you want to go. Right.
Yeah. I mean, masonry, like there's a ton of back end work I said, oh yeah, we'll fix it up for like 100. It's not 100, right? You think
so
but yeah, it's basically whatever it is, just add 50,000.
Yeah.
So he's just like, just do it, man, just do it. And eventually, I just took that just do it leap of faith on this one. And
did you tell your wife, or you said, babe, we're in contract?
No, I told her. I sent this out. Said I need to get this.
Okay.
Like I'm getting this.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like I like this one. I told her. I said I already put an offer in.
We're in.
Like this is in.
But
I know it. I know what this is worth. I know what we need to put into it. I know that's gonna sell. If not, we move there. Worst comes to worst,
we'll buy it.
We try to just live there. We try to make it happen. We make it happen.
What'd she say?
She was all in. She loved it. She loved the idea. She loved the neighborhood.
Well, she's an entrepreneur too, right? She has her own business, so she understands.
She's a business owner.
Okay.
She's busy. We got it. We have a 2-year-old. We have another one on the way. Coming in June.
Congrats.
So she's super busy with him. I mean, so as a business owner for her too, she has the same mentality. Just you have to try things.
You have to decide.
You got to decide. And she's super easy with decisions. Like her decision making is like boom, right away.
Right.
I'm a little bit different. I tend to second guess some things. Oh yeah, let's do it. And then I'm like, wait, but maybe I shouldn't. She's like, no, that's it. Go.
You already said it. Yeah,
you do it.
Go. You
why are you second guessing it?
Yeah.
You figure it out as you go. There's always a solution to a problem. It's just a matter of how you plan that.
Right. So having those people in your corner, she's probably changing you in terms of a way of looking at things differently, right?
Yeah, it's just the family you build. And
how about your family?
Yeah, my family. So they're working. They're hard workers. My dad's been at the same company since he was 16.
What does he do?
He works in medical sales. He's a VP of the company now. They just sold to another pharmaceutical company.
Okay.
He's been in the same job since he was 16. My mom, she's been in the same job 40 years, I think.
Wow.
Hard workers, same jobs. They do well. They're conservative. They're big family people. They work, they make their money, they love their kids, they love their lives, they vacation,
that's their thing.
That's their thing.
Right.
It's a much different side of like an entrepreneurial family to like a hardworking class, and they both came from essentially like the same thing. They're just two opposite.
They both have
families. They get along. We get along. It's phenomenal. It's great. We have a whole great relationship. But it's a little bit different. I'm super just like go out there. I need to get it. Entrepreneur kind of mentality.
Right. And your father and mother like, you crazy?
No, they
No?
love it. They love it.
My mother used to
They
always
never doubted
my
me.
mother was always telling me I was
They
crazy.
never doubted me.
You're crazy.
Well, she would tell me I'm crazy. My dad would always tell me, like, you know, they always tell me I always have my hand in something.
Yeah.
I always got my hand in something.
That's
I'm
cool.
always trying to do something or try to do something else. My dad's been telling me since I was a kid, like, you know everybody. And like my wife tells me, she was like, you can go to the gym, to the supermarket. You could go shovel outside for 30 seconds and you'll talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Whether it's a kid,
The funny
it's a
thing is,
grandmother,
me
it's like
playing
who the hell knows.
Me playing basketball with you, I didn't even know you were an agent. And I
yeah,
forgot
yeah,
how.
exactly.
I forgot how I ran over you. Call your Instagram. And then I was like, oh shit, he's over there. I know those people. Like, cool.
Yeah, they would tell me all the time, like you it's like the gift of the gab, I guess. You know, it could be a gift and a curse. Constantly just talking to people, which is great. I love it. I'm a social person. They would just tell me all the time, like we would go out to the ShopRite or Walmart, and I would see like 4 or 5 people I know. And they're just like, how do you know everybody? Like, what do you do all the time? And I'm like, I'm always outside. I was always playing basketball. I was always playing sports. I was just always around. I was never home. Like
Right.
I would come home. That was the time, you know, I'm not that I'm old or necessarily super young, but I was at the time where you go out and play and you would wait for like the whistle to come home and you know, like, okay, 6:30, I gotta get home. Yeah, I gotta go home and eat dinner. Like that was me. I was always out, always on the move.
Well, you're
Staying out of trouble.
You're having kids now.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
and you have nephews and stuff like that.
I have a nephew, he's 8 months old. My
Okay. Do
sister's-
you have any like teens?
No.
All right. So that's
I was like, my son Tatum was the first grandchild on both sides of the family.
really
Both sides.
okay.
And he's lucky to have 2 great grandmothers on my wife's side and my great grandma now.
That's great, bro.
Well, his great grandma.
You got longevity in your.
Yeah, we have 4 generations on both sides.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
So super special.
So give me a few. Give me your hardest deal.
Hardest deal. I mean, honestly, they're all hard. They're all obstacles. Yeah, there's no easy.
I mean, they're all
There's no easy.
they're all different.
I have the easiest deal in my life for sure.
Okay, so let's go that way, and then we'll come back. Right.
The easiest deal in my
easiest deal.
life. Let me tell you. So, it was like 7:30 in the morning, and my father-in-law calls me,
Okay.
and he was like, "Yo, wake up."
He was a client.
His friend was.
Okay.
He's like, "Wake up! My boy wants to go see this property in Yorktown." And I was like,
So yo, it's 7:30.
it's like 7:30 out. This is what I'm just starting. This is like maybe 2018 or 19.
Right.
You know, I'm just like, okay, well, what are we doing?
Right.
And he was like, he wants to go see his property. Go show him this property now.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, I'll be there like 9.
What's his name?
So I was, familiar with who it was.
Oh, you know what? Okay.
Yeah, he's a big entrepreneur too. He owns a bunch of gas stations.
All right, cool.
He's super successful.
So he was let's talk business term. He was a qualified lead.
He was
right?
qualified.
So the guy, what that means,
He was
guys,
qualified.
boys and girls out there in the world, a qualified lead is somebody who can make a decision on the spot and will be able to close the deal.
Oh yeah.
All right. So I just wondering.
And he was like
I'm trying to
he was like
educate.
your boy E. He's a cash buyer. I was like, this is great. Let's do it. I'll be there. I showed him the property. It was actually a foreclosure, and ended up being one of the quickest foreclosures ever. Saw the property within a week. We're an all cash contract. We closed in like from start to finish like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And it was like one of my like early deals, like $850,000 deal.
Oh, so you're like, yes.
And I was like, I just woke up to. I didn't even do anything. I woke up to a call. I was like, yo, pick up now. Go show him this property.
I was a tour guide.
Thank me
I was a
later.
tour guide.
Yeah, thank me later. And I was like, shit, all right. Call me more often.
That's
Wake me up.
awesome. That's awesome. Wake up anytime.
Definitely my easiest.
All right.
I definitely had a difficult one recently. It was like
What was
a
the
Bedford
difficult
Armonk deal. It wasn't. Well, first of all, it was the highest and best situation that we've been going through still.
Okay.
There were a ton of offers. We were also, 100.
You on buying or selling?
On the buy side.
Buy side. Okay.
I was like 100 and change. Maybe we were like almost 200 over asking. So you're already dealing with people that don't want to spend well over. They want the property. They know, what the market looks like.
Right.
So that was already tough getting the deal. Finally get the deal, and then when we're in contract, the everything just goes wrong. They left. They went down to the city. The owners.
Okay.
House is vacant.
Uh-oh.
Skylights leaking. Roof leaking.
Oh shit.
Nobody's there. We go for a checkup to do measurements. The whole floor in the main living room is huge. I mean, this is warped. This is a 5,000, 6,000 square foot house.
It's a house.
The whole
Yeah.
living room warped.
Wow.
Or sellers don't want to do anything.
What?
We don't live there anymore.
Wow.
But you still own it.
Right.
So when I tell you, I mean, it was eventful.
Mm.
It went from like it was a roller coaster. It was like, this is gonna close. It's amazing. I love this deal.
Deal's
It's
dead.
phenomenal. Deal's dead. They're backing out. They don't want to budge.
This
They
is
don't
back.
wanna budge.
I got to take my clients
My
back.
buyers are super sweet, very nice. And eventually, they feel like you're taken advantage of when I'm not fixing this. I'm not doing this. There was inspection items that we didn't pick up on, and then all of a sudden, okay, they don't want to fix this. You know what? Now I want this fixed.
Okay.
It turned into
It became emotional. Right.
It became super emotional.
Yeah.
Could have been avoided. It could have been fixed. All in all, the cost to fix it, wasn't substantial. Was it, does anybody want to spend it? No. When you own a property and you're in the middle of selling, you're responsible for it.
When you're on title, you're still the owner.
close.
So you got, you got
can move to
day of.
Jamaica. It doesn't matter. Once you still own that property, you have to, you have to take control of that, and you have to take ownership of it.
Absolutely.
So there was, we'll give you a credit for like $2,000. It's like a $2,000.
Oh, that's all.
Like
that's
the window
like,
doesn't even.
That's almost like fucking insulting.
It is insulting.
Right.
So it turned into like kind of insults, and then it was like a, you know what, take it or leave it kind of thing. And I'm like, this deal's gonna blow up for like, I mean, not that it wasn't a small issue, but
it's an issue that you feel it's clean. It's clear whose fault, who's
right.
responsible.
It's nobody's
for
fault. It's Mother Nature's fault, but somebody has to take care of it, and that's the seller. The owner has to take care of it. You own a property.
And if they were over ask, your buyer's already extended.
We're already extended.
Yeah.
They already come out of pocket a lot. It was a whole structured deal. It was a relocation deal.
Okay.
So there's a lot of factors in there.
Yeah.
So that was a tough one. We closed out.
Well, now you got to go back. So what happens at the end? What happens like?
So we end up. Oh yes, you're right. So to backtrack, we're going back and forth. I mean, for weeks, months. Something happens with.
The shit was dragging.
Oh, it was dragging. Oh, for sure, it was dragging. And then at some point, you know the business and mortgages. Eventually,
everything expires.
A rate expires.
Yeah, everything expires.
Debts are starting to expire. Things are changing. The school years are going to change. They want to move in by a certain date.
Right.
The winters come in. They got kids. They have 2 kids.
Yeah, so they want to get into the school district.
Yeah. I get things just time is
very
important. Especially it's in everything, but in this business, it's very important.
Yeah.
So we're back and forth, and eventually, we come to an agreement on a fix. They ended up, we did a fix. We had our guys come in. They said, "Oh, we'll bring our people in, but we'll fix it at our cost." And then they're like, "Okay, we want to do an inspection." They're like, "You don't need to do an inspection because we're." It became emotional, and it didn't have to be because the sellers were nice people, and my buyers are super sweet. So it was tough. We came to an agreement. We got everything fixed. Credits were paid.
Okay.
Everything
Was you had a sell agent?
What's that?
There was a sell agent.
Yeah.
Were they super cool?
She's awesome. She's actually on my team.
Oh, okay.
So that it was in-house. That made things like 1,000% easier.
Yeah.
So you're familiar with somebody. You have a good connection with somebody. Yeah. So our emotions, like we could talk to each other, like what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
But then we talk to our clients. Like, okay, we spoke.
Right. We're trying to. Right. We just trying to figure out how way to the end. Right.
Huge help. Right. And that's the thing. Granted, this is my team, but that goes back to the networking. Say it was somebody I met and I became super friendly with.
Yeah.
And like that's my boy.
You could pick up that call. Hey man, look, what we gonna do?
Exactly. As opposed to oh, hey Barbara, look what happened. She's like, well, we have somebody else.
Right.
That happens.
Yeah.
That happens.
And you know what? To add to that, it happens, but sometimes, and this is the tough part of the business, right? Like if somebody's posing is the word, for advantage, or they keep it real with you.
I mean, clients,
right? That becomes a thing.
They're lying. I'm like, look, your first instinct to say lying. My first instinct is to believe them. Like, look, you're honest. We abide by our code of ethics, but also by code of ethics. Yeah. Exactly. Like we do the best for our clients, but we're honest people to the transaction. We all want to get to the closing table, but nobody wants to be the snake.
Right.
Right. I don't think so, at least.
No, listen, integrity is a big thing. And
it goes a long way, and your name is heard in other offices.
The name is heard, especially when you're not there, right? People feel like, I don't like that guy.
Oh,
I like
that.
100%. Yeah.
100%.
So I had a deal. We closed, and it was an estate deal. And so we went into contract like it was like fall. It was nice. It was as is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then in the contract, the buyer side put in heat and hot water have to work. The seller side didn't catch it. I'm thinking I'm not the lawyer. I'm not supposed to be doing that.
Yep.
So we get to the closing, like we get a closing date. There's a lot of shit I'm skipping. Like we had to fix it, whatever. It was as is, as you know, it's all fucked up.
As is means don't fix anything, beginning fixing shit.
Yeah. And then the walkthrough, there's no heat, right? Of
course.
So I'm like, what? And so I have to send somebody. The boiler cost like whatever, $2,000, something like that. I spoke to my client. My client had wrestled the property away from her sister because the sister was living there almost as like a squatter. Mm-hmm. So it was so about emotional. You know what I mean? But at the end, I was like, listen, you're at the finish line.
Yep.
Right? All we have to do is fix it. So anyway, we fixed that. Then we get to closing, and they call. This is look, as an estate seller now, because I can say that now, because I've sold like 5.
Yeah. There you go.
You got to check like Con Ed. You got to make sure everything is.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't check it. So the buyer calls, says they want to transfer Con Ed. They say, well, Con Ed's been off 6 months. We need to have an inspection done.
Yep.
They come in. I send in one of my, because going back to having a lot of clients and networks, and so I have a licensed plumber who's a client. So I said, yo, can you check this out? Is this going to pass? Like, what are we doing? So he goes, oh, hell no. He's like, they did this, they did that, they did this. So he's like, look, if I do it, it'll be all in. I think it was $5,000.
Okay.
Right. So I was like, fine. This same guy who fixed the heat the day before closing. Yeah. So I get to the closing, and there's so many people there. I have no idea who's who. Right. I'm the seller. I'm like, what? Yeah. So my wife's the agent. She's cool. She's dealt with the client who's selling. I dealt with more of the heavy stuff. So I walk in, and there's like these 5-6 groups of people. It's like 8 people at the closing. And I'm like, okay, who's buying? So it's a couple. And there's 8 people. There's 10 people.
Oh my gosh.
Right. So I'm like, all right, so who am I talking to? Right. So they were like, oh, you can talk to us. But then you hear. So I'm like, all right, listen. I get inspected. Let me not skip. So they have an attorney, going back to knowing everybody. I knew their buyer's attorney. I knew everybody. So I walked in, they're like, oh, what's up?
Exactly.
So she pulls me aside and goes, yo, these guys are not listening to me. It's the religion, but we're not going to go into that. She goes like, can you tell them what I just told them? So I said, all right, look, guys. I walk in, I say, look, it's going to cost $5,000 to fix. Why do I know this? Because the licensed plumber is going to do it, who fixed it yesterday. Sunday, like they did a walkthrough, it was fixed on Monday, right? It's fixed. I want $30,000. Somebody screams from over there.
Oh, yeah.
So I go, all right, man, look, we're talking about real stuff. I don't know who you guys are. I said, look, it's going to cost $5,000. We'll give you 10 in escrow. 30 days, you're done. So we can close today. I want 30. So I look one more time. I said, listen, I'm speaking to you guys. It's cool. I would like to close with you, but if not, I get it, man. I'm giving you 10,000. It's costing $5,000. I already have the guy on deck. You saw we did it over the weekend. Like, I'm being straight up. We end up closing. I spoke to so this happens to be their uncles. I don't know if they all put money in together to help for the down payment. I don't. So everybody had something to say. But that was one of the funniest closings I've ever had, because I've never had that many people. And I'm like, yo,
many voices.
Yeah, I'm like, there's like 2 people here. I'm like,
I'm getting jumped.
Am I getting jumped?
I'm finally here. Like, what is happening?
Am I getting jumped out? My first thought was like, yo, he's gonna rush me, man. But it ended up working. As far as my easiest deal, I don't think I had one. I had one. We listed in Brooklyn. It was an estate sale, of course. And I do an open house. We're open. So I'm going from the Bronx to Brooklyn. And this is not like Williamsburg. This is another part of Brooklyn. And I go there, and I show the property like 4 different parties. And this lady runs up on me, like from the street. Hey, like, looking wild, right? So I'm like, hey. She's like, you selling this building? I said, yeah. She goes, my daughter wants to see this building. So I said, okay, is she available? I was like, I'm here. We can do it. So the girl comes to see it. So this is now, I want to talk about Zillow leads and all that, just so people understand, right? Because we're talking about marketing. So when you see, now this is for the audience, when you see a property, and then if you're on Zillow, and it says if you need an agent, click here, and they give you the names of 3 agents. That's not the listing agent.
Those are the paid agents.
Those are people paying, right? Those are people paying for their face to appear next to that. There's nothing wrong with that. But this is how it messed up the girl. On the MLS, I had written, cash offers only open, because there was open violations. I said, we're not dealing with open violations. Like, it's as is. Yeah. Going back to that.
Bank.
This is like 7 years ago, before everybody knew what as is was.
Yeah.
So she would call Zillow, the girl, and she would get an agent, and he would say, yo, if it's not cash, I'm not going to take it. So she had asked me, she said, did you speak to my daughter? And I was like, and this is me 7 years ago, not knowing how the game worked that well. I was like, no, I never spoke to her. So she told me the story, and I understood. I was like, oh shit. So my eyes kind of opened to the way this all works, like Zillow becoming a lead generator and stuff like that. So I didn't know it. And then you start experiencing shit, and you can see how she can get distorted. If you go to the source,
100%.
Yeah. So fast forward, she ended up buying.
Doesn't sound like the easiest deal ever.
No. She ended up buying the house.
Perfect.
Yeah, it worked out.
You?
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, both ends.
And I was the bank, and I was both ends of the.
Look at that. That's beautiful.
The caption was, when you represent everybody in the room. That's what I put up
I
there.
love that.
But yeah, that was the best deal, but it was a weird
Great.
deal. It was the
Yeah.
weirdest deal.
Yeah, those happen. That's
Yeah.
good. Good for you.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
What advice would you have to other agents that are thinking about getting in the business?
Advice. I mean, it's a long play. So you start. You may not close in 3 months. You may not close in 6 months. You may not close in 8 months. It's a long play. If you learn from somebody, you get into the business. You learn the business itself. You learn how agents work. You want to deal with top producers, or you want to get mentored by somebody. That my best advice is to start that way. I think I started a little bit too independent. Where if I started with this mentorship, I think I would have jump started my career a bit earlier.
You would accelerate faster.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. 100%. And I think that's like your first bet is find a company that you like, or find an agent or a friend or somebody that you know or you want to get to know, and see if you could, piggyback off of them, learn from them, build from them.
Okay.
You'll find if that career is for you.
So that's for new agents. Now, what about the agents that tell you, yo, man, shit is rough out here.
Yeah.
But you know where they are all the time, not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
What do you say to them?
Look, this is a business. You put in what you will get.
Right.
So
you get what you put in.
You get
I
get
you.
what you put in.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you don't do anything, you're not going to get anything.
Right.
So there's going to be hard months. There's going to be hard seasons. There's going to be hard markets. But there's always the revolving door. Somebody's always buying. Somebody's always selling. We always say like death, divorce, and children.
Yeah.
And newborns, like that'll change. So somebody's always like you deal with the estates. Like something's going to always happen where you have to just be open. You have to be open to that. It may not be a traditional family that's looking at a couple like, I love stuff. It's not the right time for me. And then you lose that buyer if you're dealing with them for 4 or 5 months. There'll be hardships, but you have to really keep pushing. It's essential to keep the calls and keep the connections, even look at expired listings. Like there's ways you got to start digging deep when things are hard.
Yeah, you gotta find your niche. You gotta find your hard too. What do you think about agents? Because I have my opinions, but I want to see your opinion. There's a lot of agents out here, and this is not like anyone in particular. It's just like an observer, like going back to being a competitor, right? Being a competitor, it doesn't mean that everybody's your enemy. You're just aware of what people are doing because you want to kind of stay innovative. So there's a lot of agents that don't own houses, that are selling houses.
Yeah.
What's your opinion of that? I have an opinion. I want to hear yours.
I've never actually thought about that too in depth.
Really?
But it could all be situational. It could just be life situations, could be relationship things, family things. I wish I had a more concrete answer for you. I think it depends on, obviously financial situations, but even super successful, you can still, rent a gorgeous, $10,000-$15,000 a month place.
Yeah.
It's about what you want to own. Investment wise, it always makes sense. I think, not to throw any shade to anybody that does rent, that owns, but you're selling a property and you're telling people this is the biggest investment of your life. Like, you want to make this count. This is worth it. Why rent when you can own? That's like a go-to phrase that everyone likes to say.
Yeah.
And if you're pushing this and you're selling people like, look, this is going to be worth it. You're kind of selling something that you're actually not.
You're not practicing.
You're not practicing.
You're not practicing. Yeah.
So, look, it's. I'm sure everybody eventually will find their home or their purchase. I don't have too much on that.
You don't have too much on that?
Not exactly.
You grew up in a house.
Yeah.
Right?
My parents are renters.
Your parents are renting still?
For life.
Okay.
They owned when I was younger.
Okay.
They owned a co-op when we were down in Yonkers.
Okay.
So we had a co-op in Yonkers.
So you were in Yonkers before you moved up?
Yeah. And then we moved up to Cortland, and then they started renting. They were in the same place. I was there from when I was 5 or 6 till out of high school, maybe 20 years, 18 years.
Your parents are now empty nesters?
They're empty nesters.
So they might be like, yo.
My sister. My
they're
sister's older than me.
They're like, yo, man, I might want to be out.
They were in the same place, super comfortable, and then they ended up having a little bounce around from, up in Cold Spring, Garrison area. Now they're in Putnam Valley. They love it. They've been there since 2020, actually.
Okay.
Love it. They're comfortable. They're happy.
Right.
They have a great place.
They call somebody.
They set up the house for my son. It's like it's like
it's his house.
It's his house now.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's great.
On my side, when I see now remember I've been doing this a little longer than you. I remember before 2008, before the meltdown.
Yeah.
You'd have realtors and this is before when I was lending old. I started as a loan officer in 04, 05. And they would press the client. I remember one client called me crying. It was a lady. She's like, "Oh," I'm like, "What's going on, Maria?" I'm just making that name up.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, they're telling me that I'm gonna lose this and that if I don't sign." And that was like high pressure. And I was like,
It
listen,
is.
you don't have to sign any. I mean, there's something wrong with the house. You don't have to sign any. You can walk out. But that's what I saw a lot of. And I didn't like that. I didn't like it. So not to say that I'm here to save the world. I'm just saying like I'm running it my way. Like my wife always talks about it. It's about just giving you giving you basically purpose over pressure. It's like it's not even like, yo, you want to see houses?
Right.
You ready for it? Let's
Right.
do it.
Yeah.
You don't want to buy it? That's cool.
Right.
She's in the close. I don't want to talk about her business.
Sure.
She's working with a client for 3 years.
Yeah.
They just found the house. They're gonna close hopefully next week. I wouldn't be able to do the 3 years, but she's like that. She'll rock.
I've had those clients.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, she rocks.
Maybe not 3, but definitely.
Yo, but 3
a year,
actively
and a half,
looking
active.
like inspections and appraisal, a lot of crazy shit out there, bro.
Yeah, no, there definitely is.
Yeah, and then like so me, I'm a little more. I only have so much time in the day, and I'm running multiple platforms, so I have to be like, hey, that's all I got. She's really the heart of the company, where she'll understand the client. She'll be like, oh, this was really happening, and she tells me all the time, and it's something I had to kind of. Always knew it, but to hear it and then really kind of let it resonate was that it's all a matter of trust, right? With a client, like people can know you 5 years, and there'll be something that triggers something that'll trigger like some sort of inspiration to be like, yo, I fuck with this person, right? Or just to use that word, that term,
100%.
I want to rock with this person. Like there's something that like galvanizes the relationship.
Something I would say too is more like for as an agent, like the knowledge is key. Like knowing the market, knowing the town, knowing what's around there, making the client feel comfortable where they're going to purchase is obviously, that's the key to being an agent. Knowing what you're getting your buyer into. But the relationship and the trust is significantly better.
Right.
To initially work with that client.
Right.
When they trust you, when they believe you, when you have a good relationship, when you can be their therapist. We always say like we're like a client's therapist. They go through something, they need, they're going through whatever they are in life, and this is a stressful process.
They need objectivity.
Yeah,
right.
And once they gain that relationship with you, it makes things a little bit easier for them, which puts a lot less pressure on you.
Right. Absolutely, I agree. What's your take on social media? Do you use social media a lot?
I do use social media. I do and don't at the same time.
Okay.
I keep some of my personal. I have like a personal account, my business account. Not that I hide things on a personal over business. It's more so just like anything posts of like just anything daily in my life posts.
Regular shit.
Just regular shit.
Yeah.
Business posts. I kind of stick to a little bit more personal. Yeah. No, like business wise rather. Closings, property sold, stay in the mix so people understand like what I'm doing, what I'm what I'm selling, some reports on where I am, and that's how you kind of get you get leads and you get referrals.
Right.
I do think I need a little bit more of that business presence of like personal mix, so people see who I am, they know who I am, they want to work with me, and they get to know how as a person who I am, as opposed to just this agent that wants to put you into this property and show you right.
So go back to the run.
Yeah,
I've closed 4 or 5 deals from guys in the run.
Yeah.
Just from being at the run. They're like, oh, I want to do this. I'm like, well, I don't think you should do it. I think you should do this. And, no pressure, just this is the way I would do it.
Yeah.
And they come back to me like, I want to do what you said.
Yeah.
Or I had another kid come up to me like, yo, my uncle just came to some money.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to fuck it up.
I had somebody in our runs that I got them a place to go to, and I set them up with a mortgage broker, attorney, everything.
There you go. So like, it's just sometimes you're doing stuff.
Yeah.
And it just like, this person's kind of like me. Right. So I want to rock with like,
Yeah.
There's that affinity.
They never knew what I did until we became closer, and they're like, we're cool. We hang out, we'll talk, we'll text, whatever it may be, and then it turns into like, oh man, like I hate renting at this building now. Oh, you rent, what are you looking to purchase? Like I'm not very pushy. Like like,
this is what I do. I'm not telling you have to do it.
I sell. I want to sell. I want to do as much business as possible. But I'm not like, if I meet like Eric or John, like, what do you do? Where do you live? You looking to purchase?
You're not being angry.
I'm not a.
That's the word I
use. Salesman. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not very pushy. If you don't want to purchase or you don't even want to work with me, that's I don't take no offense to it. So like organic leads tend to work a little bit better.
Yeah,
my opinion.
No, absolutely. Because
there's always an extra push. Yeah, there's always an extra push you can use for sure. But it started to that, and look, I'm an agent. I'm based out of Scarsdale. I do a lot of lower Westchester. I do all of Westchester.
Whatever you need. Yeah.
Oh shit, like I had no idea. Get my contact, take my email. I got to get pre-approved. I don't know how to do it. I set you up with everything. I get you a loan officer. I get you your attorney.
Yeah, whatever you mean.
I set you up to the whole process, and I set him up, and now he's living in his new place.
Good for him. Good for him. Good for you.
Good
for you. Just to go back to the reason I wanted to mention that is because organically things tend to happen if you're doing things for the right reason. For sure. Right? And then it kind of comes off as salesy sometimes when Some guys like I forgot one guy. One guy was like, oh, I didn't know you did that.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to do this for me. I'm like, yo, whenever you want.
I'll tell you just like this, like like my first, a lot of people, I don't, maybe it's like a movie thing or TV thing, like your first meeting with someone, hey, what do you do for work?
Right.
That's like my last question.
Okay.
I kind of like to meet the person.
Yeah.
Because even if you do something great for work, like if I don't like you, we're not gonna connect.
I'll give you a great example. I know what a lot of people do at the run, and I wouldn't fuck with them anyway because I don't like them.
Exactly. So for me, that's how I work, and like I told you, I'm a very social person. I talk to everybody, so I like to get to know somebody. Like, what, we can connect. Like, I can vibe out with this guy. Like, I would like to work with this guy. Like,
it'd be cool. It'd be a good experience.
Like to do business with this guy.
Right.
And basically from that, it's like, okay, let's learn. Let's see what what they do, and then eventually organically, I see you come in the morning. Like, where you got to get it to work earlier. Like, what do you do? And it turns into that, like, we're here at 6 a.m. We do 5:45 runs. We're out by 7, for a reason. It's not like we just want to get up and shit. Let's just go run for an hour.
We got shit to do.
Let's burn 1,500 calories by 7 a.m. and then go back to bed. Like, so you realize, okay, what do you do? I see you changing in the locker room. You go into, to a nice suit, or you go, or maybe someone's in like a little bit of another gym clothes or like a zip up. You don't know what field of work, or construction boots, whatever it may be.
Right. I thought not to confuse, but I thought Kenny Shane was a construction worker.
I had no idea what Kenny did. I swear to God. But people say the same thing with me because I live so close to the gym. I get my whole morning started there. Get my workout, whether I play ball, whether I work out, shower, sauna, and then I change back into some sweats.
Right, and then you go home.
I go home. So I go home, and then I'll make dinner. I make breakfast for my son, my wife, and then I'll get my day started. So a lot of people, they don't know either. You learn a lot from visibly seeing their day to day, but I change back into sweats.
Right.
So a lot of people, they don't know, but once we converse and we know like what we do. So I go home. I'm only like 5-7 minutes away.
Oh, you that close?
Yeah, I'm close. Okay. So it's easy for me. It's not like I'm traveling 25 minutes where it's like, you're not going to go back and forth.
Right.
Where I would change and then hit the office. So I'll go home and get my breakfast set up. Then I'm at the house.
Yeah, my like if I have to go to the office, I'm carrying my workout bag, my backpack, my laptop, my food bag.
I'm bringing 2-3 bags, and she's like, but you don't even change there. And I'm like, yeah, but I got a workout bag, got my gym clothes. If I want to play ball, I got my ball sneakers.
I doesn't know, I might get cold.
You never know. And then you have your change of clothes. Like you end up just carrying 3-4 bags before you realize it.
And then I'll go to work and be at work all day. Then I come back and I gotta unpack all my bags. Took your clothes out.
You got
hang them in the gym. Yeah. It's like a thing. Like it is. My wife is like, what the hell? I'm like, yo, babe, like and I'm one of those guys. Maybe I'm fancy, but I wear like 2-3 shirts playing ball. Because when it gets too sweaty, I'm like, all right,
I'm too shirt, but
there you go. Like it gets nasty. You gotta change. You gotta freshen up and stuff like that.
So I'm when I work out. I mean, I don't do like high intensity CrossFit, crazy running back and forth workouts. I do like more traditional like weightlifting workout.
Yeah.
So I don't sweat as much. So when I sweat in the runs, like I love that. And I'm like, I always work out in a hoodie. You always see me working out in a hoodie, sweatpants. Even in the summer, I'll wear sweatpants. Like I like to get that sweat and that like that heat during the body. I feel like I feel loose. I feel you want to burn some calories. You want to burn some sweat. So I like that during runs where I'm like sweat my ass off.
Yeah.
I play it, freaking running up and down all
day. No, he's a gazelle, man. He's out there. He's out there. It's
run.
Yo, it all comes back to the run, man.
Yeah, come back to the run.
So anyway, you're always gonna want to do business with people you like,
100%,
which is great. You do real estate. I do real estate lending. Obviously, we're gonna probably after this we'll end up evolutionizing or just ending up doing things together. So we know some people in the common space. Right. I'm glad you reached out to me because you reached out to me. I was like, so then when I called you yesterday, I was like, yo, does he not know? Like, I was like, did I get hacked? Because you didn't sell.
I had it in the calendar. You know what I was doing yesterday? I told you I'm having another son, and we were rearranging our room. So the third bedroom, I got to move my office and my closet.
Oh, get stuff out of there.
So I was building a closet at the time. I didn't get your initial text.
Yeah.
From the morning, I saw it they have like the new update where you can see spam. So I actually got a spam text this morning when I was leaving the gym. That's when I texted you. And I was like, and I went to this whole thing of spam. And I saw your message. I was like, what the hell? I had like 3-4 messages from you.
Because
now I knew that when you saw me, like, yo, are you still good for it?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, what?
Yeah, I was like, yo, did Facebook hack him? Like, I'm not understanding.
So I had in my calendar.
You sounded right. I was like, yo, I'm not bugging out. And then
no, it's funny. And I texted you. I was like, bro, you were in my spam. Like somehow you got into the spam.
Oh man. I be texting heavy, man. Maybe that's why I ended up in the spam.
All right. Sorry.
But all right. So if people need any final remarks you want to tell people?
No, not necessarily. No.
If you need a real estate broker,
you need a broker, of course. I mean,
well, go ahead.
Well, that's a given. If you want to buy, sell, you want to invest, you want to learn, about the business, you want to wholesale anything in the real estate industry. Very happy to help out. Based out of Westchester, Scarsdale, living White Plains, but I service the whole county. I service Putnam County, Dutchess. Super familiar with the whole area. So,
Yo, if you guys notice, I'm putting a lot of players on this podcast. I might be putting together a super team. And we might have to do
just because we're washed up, balling. So we just like the next generation of it. What are we gonna do next? But,
all right, man. With me, askluisomar on everything. Yo, Zach, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
I love the vibe. Thank you for coming on, and we'll probably do a part 2. I'd love if we ever do anything together. We're definitely gonna document all of it.
100%.
Right? Absolutely.
Let's do it. Thanks, JJ. Thank you.
All right, man.